no, the bowlers didn't do a enough job for 322. So we needed to drop a spinning all rounder and lengthen our tail because our batting was poor in the first match. Now tell me how that could make sense.
Hey, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Wickford TV. This is Ultra Edge, the one and only post game. In this case, it used to be post day, but we're not doing a fifth day tomorrow, obviously. So
Surprise,
there's a
surprise.
post game program here on Wickford TV. I'm the doc, and alongside me is the one and only Ezzy MacGyver Hines. Welcome, Ezzy.
Yeah, good evening to you, man.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. So, Ezzy, games finished, second test, series dusted, 2-0. Um, didn't even come close to the total today. What are your overall impressions, opinions, views on the match just concluded and of the series, which has also concluded?
Today, day four is what you could do is but describe it as a tease. And we actually didn't cover day three yesterday for whatever technical reasons. But imagine if we had covered day three and spoke about the position we were in 15 without loss going in, having skittled out South Africa for 174,
To bring
which
yourself
which
right
was
back in the game.
yeah, which was another talking point as well. And I think we even though we didn't cover day three, we have to speak a little bit about the 174 and how it came about, and it goes back to team selection. So we'll probably touch on that in the lows. But yeah, it's pretty disappointing day on day four coming and only mastering 165 after that effort. Pretty ordinary.
Yeah, it's pretty much a huge letdown. If I was a bowler in the West Indies team, I'd be feeling dejected because you're like, what else could I do? What else could I possibly contribute to this team for it to win? If my batsmen
Yeah.
cannot even get me 200 runs in either innings throughout both tests, that's four innings, Ezra.
Well, let me go there since you already there, because it is not the bowlers. Sorry, it's not the batsmen that to me letting down the side. It starts at the selection, and every time we come to this sort of situation where we're being bowled out cheaply, you always hear people saying, "Well, these selectors can only select the team, but they can't hold the bat out there for them." But we have to really, really start to punish the selectors verbally with their
So
choices.
you're punishing them,
There's
Ezra.
logic.
Where do you see they went wrong within this test or these two tests in the series in general? Talk to me.
So we have certain preconceived notions in West Indies cricket. I made a comment early in the from the first day. I said, "Why have we gone in to a match with five pacers?" And to that, fans and other people responded, "We don't have five pacers. We have four pacers and a slow medium pace bowler in mirrors." Because looking at the speed gun is supposed to somehow give an indication of how effective as a bowler you are.
But Ezra, you
And
know, the case of West Indies selection policy for the last 40 years at least, that
and
speed
right,
is rules overall, much to
right.
our detriment in some cases, but continue.
But this is where I'm heading. So for some reason, we bowled out South Africa for a good part, what we'll call a par, scoring test cricket, modern test cricket of 322 in the first match. Yet somehow, and we failed miserably with the bat. As I said, got 2-1. Didn't get a second bowling innings. So with that, we decided that no, the bowlers didn't do a enough job for 322. So we needed to drop a spinning all rounder and lengthen our tail because our batting was poor in the first match. Now tell me how that could make sense.
I guess we were looking at the fact they needed some more power is more pace, more power to blast away at least the tail, or at least to peg back the early South African batting really saw the strength out. They thought they run out of steam a little bit, so they're looking to give more energy towards the bowling performance now coming into that second test. I'm just giving you to know here how they were thinking.
Right, but the problem is we're not losing steam because of bowlers being tired or not fresh. We're losing steam because of the condition of the ball. The guys are swinging the new ball. The guys are getting wickets with the new ball. And as soon as we get to over number 30, 40, and so like we don't have a solution with the old ball. So what does every other test team do? You bring in your spinner, but ours somehow is missing every game. This thing does not make sense. Why is it the only West Indies seem to be the only team in world cricket that cannot understand that a spinner is integral to your test lineup?
Because
Integral.
Ezra, the conditioning, the thinking, the way that brought them success 40 years ago. They've been trying to recreate that same wheel now for who knows how long, including this where we get to looking forward now to the Pakistan series, including playing a team like South Africa in the most seamer friendly pace, friendly wicket in the Caribbean with a Duke's ball, with batsmen that have not shown any sort of confidence or capabilities in facing quality fast bowling. Now, if
Right,
you are not deluded into thinking that you are in 1980s by administrations, I do not know what more proof you need than that fact.
right. So everything that you've said just now, but we're still going to lengthen the tail. This is what I cannot understand, and so looking at that now, it shows you with the match situation where we had South Africa, what, 60 odd for six on day three, when we desperately needed that spinner. I understand Chase was injured. We desperately needed that spinner. And with the match at 60 for six, you had Rabada going on to make his highest test score, and Van der Dusen,
Coming in
put-
not out.
exactly putting us under the pump for a 50 plus partnership. It
But as
is
it turned out,
absolutely
that
crazy.
50 runs was merely icing on the cake because the degree of difficulty, sorry, degree of defeat, I should say, not degree of difficulty, because it did not even come close to overcoming that difficulty. The degree of defeat and the margin was so wide anyway, Ezra, that partnership was in the end completely unnecessary. But I get your point.
And for the third time, I will say, with that logic, we still drop Cornwall as our spinning all rounder to lengthen the tail with Gabriel, who is clearly having problems, who does not seem fit. But we need the speed gun to be talking.
We need to
That
speak
seems
out to be talking. You know
when
the thinking, Ezra. That's
when
the
you look
thinking in
when you look
that's
that's
the
the thing.
thinking in the big Facebook group, Ezzy.
When you look at it, right? What Gabriel did, what, 2 or 3 wickets in the
Two
match,
wickets in the
two
first
wickets,
innings.
and then what, went off the field or something like that.
So two wickets. Shannon Gabriel, one match, two wickets, 22 overs. 22 overs across two innings. So that's 11 overs per innings. Then let me just read the rest of the stats here. Where is he gone now? Two overs, 4 meters, 93 runs, 2 for 65, average 46.5.
Yeah, and,
So
and
that's
then
that,
contributed to his no ball tally as well.
right, correct. Yeah. So I mean, as a that
Six overs
selection
in the
is
second innings. Gabriel bowled all of 6 overs in the second inning. This thing really needs to stop. And I don't I think we're bordering on madness now because we're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result.
all right, Ezzy. So that brings us nicely then into expecting different results in the high points now. What was unexpectedly high for you, or what made you say, yeah, man, yeah, this is something we could definitely work on in this match and in the series?
The high points will be Kimar Roach again, showing class, showing experience counts for something. taking those 4 wickets in the
Second
second
innings.
innings and 3 in the
Mhm.
first innings. So 7 wickets. Again, another high point is Jason Holder's cash in. And yes, so Jason Holder is 6 catches from 2 matches, which is outstanding in any
Excellent.
form.
Continues to contribute.
Yeah,
I know some in the Wickford groups give him a hammering with the batting, but he contributed significantly. Remember, lower order batting, he has been bailing us out for a number of
yeah,
years now.
yeah. You
I mean,
can't.
so the
Yeah,
top
the guy
order
had a
just needs to
bad batting
deliver.
series. Yeah, the guy had a bad batting series. You can't really hold that against him, and he's also going to contribute with the balls. So that does moot to me.
Yeah,
Everybody has a bad series at some point or another.
correct. And he contributed significantly. That catching was amazing. The
Yeah.
catch in particular, um, what to get rid of Maharaj, I believe it
Yep.
was an excellent catch. I mean, ball, he continues to give pressure. He was the hardest to hit in that partnership as well. 2 man runs were leaking. I
Yep.
mean, you cannot fault the contribution he consistently makes in trying to win test matches for the West Indies. The
Yeah.
top order needs to deliver. And on that, let's come to the lower points. As the lower points from this series, lower
There
points from
are
that test
so
match.
many low points. It's not funny.
So we got one out of the way. The selection was a lower point for you.
So I was just gonna go back to the selection. The selectors have to take some licks for this series. Lowest of the low for points for me. And then when you step into the match and what we were presented with, you want low points to this match or this series?
Lower points this match and the
So
series because they're
so
going to be similar.
yeah, so the low points of this match, you know what? Let's flip the script. Let's say the low points are actually not the guys that failed and the guys that didn't get a start, but look at Blackwood again, another 49. Blackwood seems to not be cognizant of, and I love Jermaine Blackwood. Everybody knows that.
I
I'm
know you do. You pledge your love for him
Maddie, as I call him,
consistently.
biggest fan, but something is wrong with Blackwood and Milestones. When you look at Blackwood's career, he just has too many outs in the 40s and the 90s. It seems like as he approaches a milestone, he lapses when other guys kind of consolidate
Focus.
and focus to play for themselves and try to get past it. Blackwood falls for 40s so often and 90s. Blackwood would have about 4 or 5 test hundreds by now.
So your
So
relation
so
to him at lower points is what then?
so it's like the low points will be Blackwood and Powell, like sheer hope. When the team is struggling and you get a start, you have to kick on. Look at what Elgar did. Look at what Van de Dusen did. You have to be the one to kick on and just not be satisfied with, well, I scored the most runs, so I can get out for 51. I can play a stupid shot at 51
All
and
right.
don't care about the rest of the team.
So that was lower points there. Is there any other lower points? I
The,
mean, there's several. So
Yeah,
let's
I mean,
not
people will
focus
point
on
to the
lower points.
obvious, right? People will point to the
Obvious top
obvious,
order
and
batting.
and okay, the Craig Brathwaite as batsman, he had a decent series with Sri Lanka with 2 scores where he scored over 200 runs in the match, but he has to be more consistent. You're the captain now. You really need to start to being more consistent. Um, the the other low point, and this is tying back to selection, we are the ones that preach St. Lucia's this fast bowling pitch, this and that, and all the nets. A spinner from South Africa took a hat trick in the Caribbean on what is supposed to be our fast bowling paradise.
I
That's
think
thinking.
those are one of those deceiving stats that will encourage other touring teams to pack their team with spinners and solution. But
Well,
the quality of that hat trick, Ezra, was such that I do not
yeah,
think it could ever be replicated by those 3 batsmen again
but
on that wicket,
but
on that particular wicket.
but this is the beauty of spinners, because spinners sometimes get wickets from lapses in judgment by
They go on
batsmen.
a roll.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have a spinner in the team. You got a guy that will be batting all day and just decide to run down the pitch for no reason. You
and
know,
then he
if he
loses
does that to
victory.
fast bowler, he's pretty safe.
All
That
right.
is why you have spinners in your team. And the
All
fact
right.
that South Africa has brought a spinner and has done that to us, like
Played him
in
consistently because we
in
had a spin in the
championship.
first test.
Exactly. So you gotta be embarrassed by that fact. If you're not West Indian and embarrassed by that fact, I don't know.
All right then, Ezra. So high points then. The high points from this game and of the series.
Well, we talked about high points already with Kumar Roach and his wickets and showing his experience, seniority, and also Holder with his catching.
So that was one
And
of them.
and
What's
I,
the
I
next one?
kudos to Jason Holder as well because he lost the captaincy. I think it was the right decision not to continue with him as captain because he's had a long run. But one thing the guy has not sold, he's continued to show that
Brings
he's
good energy to the
fast,
cricket, man.
brings
I
energy.
like this version of
He's
Jason Holder
en-
actually.
encouraging the youngsters. When he was captain, we didn't used to hear that. We didn't hear that. So um I kind of like the position that he's in as a senior player. I would still give him a contract and pay him, a quality dollar and stuff.
He's a top quality all rounder, Ezra.
Simple as that.
Um, I know I'm going to clip off this one and put it on the gram for sure. But I think given his run after Sagari, he's been our best all rounder. I am serious in terms of all round cricketing ability and contribution towards a winning position. Not that the winning position is executed, which will taint his reputation and legacy, but in terms of what he has done in a game to affect the change in moving the team from where it is to supremacy within a situation
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that analysis. I also
to
think
this, but I am prepared to go out on a limb.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that analysis. I can't think of any other player that would merit those words on that
Yeah,
level.
he's number one for a reason. Just simply.
Some agents would say Carl Hooper, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But let's not go any car open debate.
yeah, yeah,
All right, then, Ezzy. So looking forward now. I know we'll be back to do ratings by George,
yeah.
but looking forward now to the Pakistan series. What do you want to see happen within this team,
So
around this team?
so just before we get there again, to show how bad this series is, not a single West Indies batsman averaged over 25 runs. Let that sink in. That is
Yeah, I
as
believe it has to be the worst, a
I,
worst in a home series. I do believe it has to be that.
I don't even understand how you have a batting unit like you would be very embarrassed as a batting unit if that's a stat that is that you have to see in front of you. Well, moving on to Pakistan. Again, I am not asking for four spinners. I'm just asking
Uh-huh.
for a logical approach to spin in the Caribbean, whereby every single game, just like every other test playing nation, we put a spinner, a main spinner inside the team. As simple as that. I'm not saying
Right.
every game has to have two spinners, but your main specialist spinner has to be on paper in the same way that your captain and your wicketkeeper is on paper. And I
All
hope the
right.
selectors finally get that into their heads.
Well, hopefully, given the record at Sabina, I believe that's where the series is going to be played. I hope sincerely that they bear this in mind. Remember the contribution, noticeably, of Suleiman Bain in that win over England. Everybody want to remember Jerome Taylor and his fantastic fast bowling effort, but do not negate the fact that Suli was important and crucial to wiping up that tail in Sabina Park. Sabina usually, if it gets beyond the first 2 days, will deteriorate. It will spin quickly.
Yep.
Sharp turn has been known and with pace in Sabina. So let's hope that the selectors understand this fact and the team and the think tank around it and implement accordingly. Well, Ezzy, so that's it. So once again, we'll be coming back with ratings by George. Look out for that program as well too. This has been Ultra Edge, the post-match show on Wickford TV. Once again, I'm the Doc, and this is Ezra Hines. Subscribe, like if you feel like. Also, link us up on the Facebook page. Look up for Wickford. It's by invitation only. The one, the bestest, the oldest cricket group, best moderated group on
Quality.
Facebook when it comes to West Indies cricket. So that's it from us. See you later.